Hello and welcome. My name is Space Muffin, and this is The Void Gaming. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about why I believe that Quake Champions is the best hero shooter out there, why you should play it, and let's get into it. So before we do, though, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys, and don't forget to join our amazing Discord community. We have an amazing Discord community, guys. We play so many cool games in there and just have so much fun. So link is in the description for that. So let's talk about Quake. Let's talk about hero shooters first and foremost. Hero shooters, they're literally everywhere, right? You got Valorant, Apex, Overwatch, obviously. Fragpunk just came out, Marvel Rivals. The list goes on and on and on and on. And what if I told you, though, that in my opinion, there's one that does it better than all the rest? And I think that is Quake Champions. And here is the reason why I believe that. Quake Champions blends the hero mechanic with the high-skilled arena FPS combat. And yet, frankly, this game has not gotten the credit that it deserves. And Quake Champion is the best hero shooter you're not playing, and I'm going to explain why right now. So let's talk about, the modern hero shooter, right? So modern hero shooters emphasize abilities, cooldowns, and team-based gameplay. That's kind of the three core mechanics of the modern hero shooter. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it can be fun. But what's kind of frustrating about this is, number one, if they release a new hero, it might have an overpowered ability. It might, and also with the team-based mechanic, it's fun, but you are now relying on other people, right? So you can be the best player in the world, but if you have the worst team, you're not going to do good. You're going to get frustrated and things like that. So what I like about Quake, and this is why Quake Champions, I like their different take. I like, number one, you got fast-paced movement, okay? There's no sprinting, just pure speed, right? Number two, gun-placed focused combat. Abilities are secondary, but aiming is ultimately what rules the day. So what do I mean by gunplay focused combat? Because you're thinking Space Muffin. Like, all these other games have guns in them. All these other games have gunplay focused. So what I mean by that is this. You can pick any champion in Quake Champions and be good with that champion. And the hero ability or the champion ability, those really complement your gameplay style rather than necessarily be the main thing, if that makes any sense. So the other thing about Quake Champions is there are team modes, but really solo skill matters the most. You're not heavily reliant on team coordination. You're not relying on a healer or anything like that. It's really just your solo skills. That is what matters. So let's talk about, speaking of hero abilities, let's talk about why Quake Champions and how Quake Champions handles hero abilities better. So abilities in most hero shooters equals, the fight, winning tools, basically. In other words, if your hero has a really great ability, you can turn the complete tide of battle, or if you have an S tier hero, you can really dominate. You can dominate. That's just how it is. We see this a lot in Marvel Rivals. And, in summary, obviously, in games like Overwatch, abilities can really carry a fight. And, one-shot ultimates, things like that, really, you rely on that cooldown. You rely on those abilities. And, obviously games like Apex, it's more tactical, mobility abilities kind of define the play styles, but Quake Champions takes a different approach. Quake Champions, abilities in Quake Champions enhance you as a player, and they're not really a crutch, right? They're not, they're not the main course, right? They're a nice little sweetener. They're the dessert on top. I'll give you an example. In Quake Champions, I play Nyx. So she has a phase shifting ability. And it's really good for repositioning, but ultimately none of these abilities break it to where you're going to win just by popping your hero ability, right? It really, like I said, it's really all about the gunplay, right? So it adds a nice variety, each hero, rather than simply, it adds variety, but it doesn't replace the fundamental FPS skills. Okay, so let's talk about movement and gunplay real quick. In games like Overwatch, Apex, things like that, you got your standard sprint, your slides, your mobility skills and things like that. In Quake, each hero they all have the same movement. So you have your strafe, this is a movement-based speed boost. You have your rocket jumping, which allows you to make skillful, positioning moves. And of course, you have air control mechanics, which require precision for dodging attacks. So, look, there's no aim assist, no bullet spread. It's just pure skill wins the fight, and that's kind of really what it boils down to. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of cool mechanics in Quake. It's not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of flaws, and we're going to get into those flaws here in a little bit in this next section. But I think ultimately the comparison of having to rely on abilities, having to rely on specific S tier heroes. For example, in Marvel Rivals, I play Black Widow, right? And she's just not really that great of a hero. There's nothing I can do about it. There are many other heroes that are more powerful than she is, and you're going to get more kills, more assists. You're going to deal more damage, and I like playing the character, but my teammates they don't like playing. They don't like it when I play Black Widow, so I have to play somebody else. But I'm kind of going off on a tangent. Let's talk about like you might be thinking, Muffin, if Quake Champions is so good, why have I never heard of it? Why did it never take off? And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So, in my opinion, Bethesda really didn't promote this properly in comparison to, obviously Blizzard promoted the ever-living heck out of Overwatch. But Bethesda did not. They barely promoted it in comparison to Overwatch. The other thing, and this is kind of a minor thing, but I think it does add on. I think it was a little confusing. Several things were confusing about the game. Number one, it tried to capture two audiences at once. It tried to capture the arena FPS with the hero shooter people. And I think that was a little bit confusing. And then it also had this weird kind of, this weird business model where you could pay, it was, they kept changing it, right? It was, hey, you pay to release, now it's free to play. Oh, but now there's paid champions. And it's what are we doing here, right? So I think now they kind of ironed it out, but I think they really botched it in the beginning with the monetization. The other thing about Quake Champions is that really made it not take off is there is an extremely tough learning curve in these type of games. There's no real skill-based matchmaking early on. But if you're a casual player, you're going to get stomped left and right. So, I don't know. So the other thing is that, aside from the tough learning curve, is really arena shooters on the whole kind of stayed niche, And hero shooters kind of leaned into that team-based gameplay. Hero shooters kind of got stuck in its duel-heavy, skill-based roots, which I think turned a lot of people off. And I think these combinations of things kind of caused the game to not really do as well. I think the game could have done well. I just think it needed some polish on the marketing side and really getting new players in and really finding a way to teach people how to play the game. So I think it could have done better, but it's kind of one of those situations. So I'm going to go and end this video, but before I do, guys, I want to give you guys some reasons why you should play this game in 2025. So number one, there's a small but dedicated player base, and I think I don't know. I just feel like if you're playing traditional hero shooters like Team Fortress or like Overwatch or like Valorant or whatever, you should give this game a chance. I think you should. It's free to play right now, and you should just definitely give it a chance. And it's really one of the last true skill-based FPS games on the market right now. I mean, there's Quake Live, but that's just a kind of a re-release of Quake 3. But this is really one of the last really skill-based ones, and it's just no other game offers this level of speed, movement, and pure aim-based combat. And I don't know, I just think these reasons alone, I think it's just a really fun, really cool game to play. So it's free to play, guys. Why not? At this point. And so I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you guys are going to check this game out. Let me know if you've never even heard of this game, right? But yeah, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys. Don't forget to join our Discord, and we will see you in the next video.